So yeah, this is going to be awkward, to say the least. This girl happens to be from my town, who I'm responding to, and just happens to know some people that I know, so I'm going to be on my best behaviour and try and be very nice. And instead, use the power of the thick of it and other internet memes to show my displeasure rather than come out of my own mouth. So, yeah, this is awkward. I am risking social embarrassment with this, but whatever. It's all a bit of fun. We don't really know each other, so it's okay. Please, Hannah.
Today I wanted to talk about how to be a good ally.
Yay! I love learning things. There's nothing better than how to learn how to be something from somebody about something. It's great, isn't it, people?
An ally is a person who supports a group of marginalised or oppressed people but does not belong to said group.
Yeah, that's not necessarily the definition of the word ally. That is the context in which it's being used. An ally is somebody who is on your side in some kind of debate, war, or just in an alliance with somebody. That's in the context of activism. But really, what you guys mean by allies is useful idiots. People you can boss around and basically say, well, at least when it comes to guys, be on your best behaviour or we will punish you. You are at fault for all our problems. You cannot be something. But then again, some people will say, yes, you can be something. And then some people will be humming and hawing about it, and it's kind of just confusing for these people. I really feel for male allies or straight allies, whatever you want to call them. It must be a tough life for them.
So, a white person supporting black rights, a straight person supporting LGBTQ plus rights. So if you are a person who sympathises with some of these causes, but you're like, I don't know how to help, I'm not oppressed, I'm going to help you help.
None of those groups are oppressed in the West anymore. By that I mean, not for the last, 30, 20 years? I mean, these people are not being oppressed. Nobody is going around saying, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot be this, you cannot be that, I will not employ you, because that is all against the law. I should know this because I am part of at least one of those groups. Sort of, maybe. You probably should have said minorities, but hey, whatever, that's what you meant. So yeah, I am a minority, and I'm also got Asperger's syndrome, or high-functioning autism as it is now. And we're not oppressed. There are people who are rich in these communities, people who are poor. It's really a class issue now, but no, it's still because of these mitigating factors that don't really mean anything, in the West at least. If you were to go to other countries, maybe, yeah, there's probably are some problems going on, but you're talking about the West, and none of these groups are being oppressed. These groups have now, at least in this country, and in this city, although you've not lived here for a while, I think, I don't know, they're alright, they're doing well. In fact, they're doing better than most people, at least one of those groups. So, yeah, I don't see the point in being an ally when there's nothing to fight for. Unless that is to fight for the, control of the communities. In which I can only say, shame on you guys.
It's going to be great.
Are you joking? Are you joking now?
Number 1, check your privilege.
Well, of course, miss from the middle class area of Manchester. Of course, yeah. I'm totally going to check my privilege from the poor area. Because I'm a man, obviously. I'm a good ally. Yeah, it's great when the rich tell you to check your privilege, innit?
There are lots of different types of privilege. I personally have white, straight, able-bodied, cis privileges, and maybe some others that I can't even think of because I'm so privileged it doesn't affect me.
How about white middle class female privilege? Oh, female privilege. Oh, he said it. Oh! Yeah, because, in this country where you have half the prison sentences as a man, you have reproductive rights, and of course you have all the rights you could possibly imagine when it comes to divorce courts and child custody, but why mention them all now when they probably need to be mentioned later on? So I think I'll keep them in reserve.
That's not meant to... That sounds weird, doesn't it? I'm so privileged.
At least she's bloody honest about it. Maybe, sort of. Look, the whole idea of privilege is bullshit. Because a lot of these things that you ascribe to these different demographics don't even apply to certain people within those demographics, and can also apply to people from the demographics it's supposed to be oppressing. For example, Obama obviously has all those things that you're supposed to have that affects people like him. I don't have any of those things that he has, yet that doesn't oppress me because I'm a mixed race guy, or it doesn't affect my mum because she's white, or it doesn't affect my uncles because they're white. Isn't that weird? See what I mean? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense when any of those things can be attributed to any rich person. It's nothing to do with class though, apparently. It's all to do with your gender and your race, etc. Even though in the West, there's really not much of that at all anymore.
Privilege doesn't mean that you've not had your fair share of hardships and struggles in life. It simply means that there are some things that you will never have to think about just because of the way that you are.
Well, then everyone's privileged then, right? Because there are certain things that white people don't think about, gay people don't think about, black people don't think about, I don't think about, you don't think about. Aren't we all privileged then? It seems like the definition changes to every person I respond to, and it's kind of a bit confusing. There doesn't seem to be an actual consensus on what this all is. Sometimes it's just something that you have that oppresses people, or something you have that benefits you. But now it's something that you don't have to think about and that you can experience hardship. Is this the newest definition or just your own? Because either way, it's still bullshit, because we don't think about some things. That doesn't make us privileged. That's probably just something that we don't have to deal with, or maybe it's something we do have to deal with, but we're not aware of it. Like, men, for example, probably should think more about being assaulted than killed, because statistically they're far more likely to, and also at work they're far more likely to suffer an accident. They should be thinking more of that, but we don't, because we're very risk taking, apparently, due to science, and maybe that's why stuff like that happens, because we don't think about it. Therefore, they're not privileged, right?
Understanding your own privileges can help you empathise with marginalised or oppressed groups, and we love empathy.
Yeah, because you totally empathise with the people who you are arbitrarily accusing them of... Yeah, because you're totally empathising with these so-called marginalised, oppressed people who really aren't. And you're totally empathising with the people who are, but you're ignoring for reasons that we could totally go into because they're inconvenient for your narrative. And you're also totally not empathising with the people you've arbitrarily assigned as oppressors because reasons, because sexism, because blah 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 blah. Privilege, from what I've seen, this whole concept is anything but empathetical. It's quite the opposite. If anything, it encourages a lack of empathy in the so-called oppressor, and just total condescension and really kind of your own bigoted views on these marginalised people. It's almost as if they can't do things because they're such and such, therefore they need elevating, which sounds a lot like what the imperialists used to say when they were trying to justify their invasions of countries that didn't belong to them. But what do I know? I mean, it's the horseshoe theory. It's just a theory after all.
Empathy is great. Empathy is so in right now. Stop trying to make empathy happen, Gretchen. No. Yes, Gretchen, make empathy happen. What is happening?
Jesus Christ, see you, you're a fucking omnishambles, that's what you are. You're like that coffee machine, you know, from bean to cup, you fuck up.
Number 2, listen, aka shut up.
Shut up, just shut up, shut up, shut up, shut it up.
Free speech is what they actually think about it.
Maybe I think I'm being a good ally by saying things like black people think that blah 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 and trans people feel like blah 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 blah.
Yeah, don't say that bit where it might actually help solve some problems. No, shut up, because you're not one of us, basically. Yeah, that's gonna help people become allies, where they go to help, but their help is not wanted or needed, or trusted, or even remotely liked and respected. just shut up and listen. Don't even give us any advice, because you're the oppressor, remember, shitlord.
How do I know? I need to stop talking and listen to the people who belong to these groups about how they think and feel about their experiences.
Don't say anything, just listen, because this is what a dialogue is. You just listen and believe, remember? It's not really about, solving issues or anything like that. It's just allowing them to spread their ideology, creating more problems for them to complain about, so that then we need them, or rather, they're creating a need for them for themselves, and causing more problems. Yeah, just listen, don't say anything, because we can't have anything remotely dissenting.
And instead of speaking for them, you can use your position of privilege to share their stories and amplify their voices.
Oh, really? So, even though most people aren't privileged, they're somehow privileged anyway because reasons and ideology, they have to use their privilege because, hey, all white guys have power, even though they don't have any power, most of them, it's in like the 1%. They have to use what they don't have to let somebody else speak, but not speak for them, even though the only people speaking for these oppressed groups are your people, the SJWs, the regressive left, as we like to call them now. You speak for these people, tell us and them how they feel and then what they're going through, yet that's okay because you do it, but not when they do it. But that doesn't make any sense, and that's what you're doing right now. You're speaking for them, not speaking with them, or speaking about their issues. You're not actually brought up anything, really. And this isn't being a great ally. See, why do I have to be an ally? I always say this. Why can't I just be a friend? Is this really what I am to you? Just an ally, someone to use and then dump when I'm not needed? Because that's what an ally is.
Number 3, educate. Do your research. Your friends aren't going to want to keep explaining to you how and why that they're oppressed.
How are they oppressed? If someone kept telling me what they're oppressed all the time, I'm just going to think that they're just being idiots, they're emos. Because that's what emos do. Emos go, help, I'm being oppressed, I'm repressed. It's almost getting a bit Monty Python in here, but I refuse to play that clip. I've done my research. I've talked to people. I live, depending on your mood, an oppressed life, and I don't feel it. And none of those other people feel it either. It's you telling us that we're oppressed. You've not really given me any reasons, you've not given me examples, just that these people exist, therefore oppression. And I've got to research that. All the research that I come up with from your side is pseudo-scientific garbage. It's not even in reality. And you start from one preconceived notion and try to get to that preconceived notion, which is not how you research, by the way, but whatever.
So show your commitment to the cause by doing your own research. Read some books, read some articles, watch some YouTube videos.
Yeah, articles, YouTube videos.
I read all the blogs, because basically I'm an underemployed fat fucking loser. I've got nothing better to do with my time. I just sit in my bedroom like a fat space hopper in a tracksuit, reading inconsequential, unspell-checked shit fabricated by other fat and fucking losers.
Number 4, you do not belong in the spotlight. Thank you so much. I would like to thank the patriarchy, homophobia, racism, transphobia for the opportunity to show the world that I really am a good person.
Yeah, you don't get to have your freedom of speech, you don't get to tell us your opinion because reasons, because you are this demographic and we do not like this demographic because reasons. Therefore, it's not your spotlight. And we're going to thank all these things that only minorities of people who think about these things, and they come from a myriad of different demographics, but we're not going to say it comes from one demographic, that we're good people because we told one person to shut up and move away, to do a Bernie Sanders, because of equality.
When equality wins, you will not receive an Oscar for Best Performance, but you might be nominated for Best Supporting Performance. Your role is to support, care, help and listen.
Really, just ask the two athletes, the African American athletes during the 1968, 67 maybe, Olympics. I don't know what the year was, I forgot. What they think of their Australian counterpart who helped them during their infamous moment when they made a political statement by doing Black Power salutes at the ceremony. They went to his funeral when he died a couple of years back, I think about a decade, and were pallbearers. They gave him a spotlight for his supporting role. Yet, apparently, you just say to your allies, yeah, just be tools. Just be tools. We'll be thankful but not thankful.
Number 5. No breaks. Oppression takes no breaks. You can't hide under your comfy duvet of privilege when you don't want to engage.
You cannot be neutral. You cannot have an opinion. You must have an opinion. You must take sides. Because remember, only oppressors, racists, sexists, etc. don't take sides.
The trick of being a good ally is to always be there for the people who need the support. You know what, guys? I'll sit this one out. You go ahead.
That is true, but you can't always be there because you're only human. At least these people, they're only human. They can't do everything just because you lot think because they're privileged that they can do everything, or they can't. I think it's a bit unrealistic for them to be there all the time like your personal carers. This infantilization thing, it's really getting out of hand, people. Christopher Hitchens was right.
Number 6. Focus on those with a shared identity. This does not mean stick to your own kind, separate but equal. Oh, no, 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 no.
At least you don't subscribe to that bullshit that a lot of them do. Okay, that's good. So what do you mean by that?
This means taking the things that you've learned and sharing them with other people from your privileged group.
Well, at least you're not arguing people should stay in their echo chambers and hug boxes and go la 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 la. I guess that's okay, but it's also kind of worrying that you want people to go out and preach to the unwashed barbarians out there who don't check their privilege every day. Problem is that you want them to only talk to these privileged group people, their own, but you're only telling people to preach to these people you've arbitrarily assigned privilege and who are the oppressors, even though we know that it doesn't matter what you look like or what you are, these things can happen to anybody. So surely we should be sharing these things, if we were allies, if I were an ally, to the world. Going to different places, talking to different people on the internet and in real life, rather than the other mixed race person who I don't really have a connection to. I mean, who do I talk to? I don't know. I'm related to different cultures, not just 1 or 2, but 3, maybe 4 or 5, I don't know. Who do I talk to? You see, none of this makes sense.
So men talk to men about feminism, white people talk to other white people about racism, straight people talk to straight people about LGBTQ+ issues. You get it. Because you have that privilege, it puts you in a good position to recruit more allies.
Yeah, so basically doing an atheism plus. Talk to atheists about all these issues, talk to humanists, because now it's humanism plus, about these issues, brainwash people, tell them they're the worst things about society, and basically recruit more social justice warriors. Right, gotcha. Not just discuss the issues, but actually bring them into the fold, bring them into the ideology, into the cult. Yeah, I gotcha there. No, I don't think I do that.
Number 7. Learn to apologise. You will need this skill because you are probably going to mess up. If someone calls you out on something you did or said wrong, listen to them, say that you're sorry, and promise not to do it again.
Because then you'll be a very naughty boy who's oppressing people. I mean, does that mean that he can, or she, I don't know, it doesn't matter, does it? Does that mean the ally can criticise them for doing something wrong? I highly doubt that, because you're not saying it goes both ways so far.
It's that easy.
So accept your own criticism, which might not even be criticism. You might not have done anything wrong, but they will deem something as wrong, and you have to listen to them, because remember, you can't say anything when they're talking. You have to listen and believe, so you have to believe them, even though you know you've not done anything wrong, and improve and say sorry, because you're the oppressor, you're the ally, remember? Damn, that is just too much for me. That is far too much, love. I mean, talk about just ridiculousness. I cannot say to them that they're doing something wrong if they are, because, you know, I'm the oppressor, I'm the ally, I can't speak to them, otherwise I'm taking their spotlight, right? Oh, God, you're not doing very well with this, are you?
Thanks for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments if you have any other tips on how to be a good ally that I may have missed. This video was in collaboration with the charity Moral Courage. I did a video on their channel about how to call your friends out when they make sexist jokes.
I'm likely to use an awful lot of what we would call violent sexual imagery, and I just wanted to check that neither of you would be terribly offended by that.
Hey, wanna know a joke? Wanna know a joke? Hey, women's rights. Oh.
Wow, what do you say after that one? Brutal, savage, wrecked, absolutely taken down.
So I'll leave a link in the description, and also there'll be a link at the end of this video for you to go and check out. I hope that you're all well, and I'll see you soon. Bye!
Fuckety bye.